We shall do a part from Canto 2 of the Book of Yoga. In the previous canto, rather in the previous book, Narad has made the announcement that after 1 year of the marriage of Satyavan with Savitri, Satyavan is going to die.
Yes.
That immediately sets the tone for the important thing which Savitri has to do. Rather, it is Narad who has cast the seed of yoga in the soul of Savitri.
Yes.
The marriage is performed. The happy young couple is living a joyous life in the forest hermitage. But all the while, Savitri is haunted by the prophecy made by Narad that soon the year will be over and her husband will be no more. So she is constantly struggling within herself. As human Savitri, she is weighing all the pros and cons, all the possibilities of action she has to do. At one moment of time, she is happy in the company of her husband. The next moment, she is deeply worried what is going to happen tomorrow. And she has no immediate solution available to her. But in the process of that grief or the moment to come, she has become absolutely calm. It is a calm of a yogic kind. Human Savitri, through grief, has attained such a powerful calm that her entire being has fallen silent. In that condition of calm, she is able to receive the promptings, the message, the adesh of what she has to do, what she should do, for what she should prepare herself. She gets the command. Actually, it is a command coming from the Supreme Self of Savitri herself, the Supreme Mother incarnate who has incarnated Savitri. She herself is giving the command to Savitri. And the command is received not by human Savitri, but by the power of that Supreme Mother which has incarnated herself in Savitri's soul. It is that power within her who is receiving the command, the adesh, the message, the instructions of what she has to do. So it is the Supreme Transcendental Mother who is speaking to the power within the soul of Savitri. And it is the conjunction of these two which is going to develop in the form of the yogic tapasya of Savitri as a human being. Means Savitri as a human instrument has lent herself totally to the power which is within her, and it is that power which is receiving the command from above. So, the first injunction or adesh or the command she gets is as follows. Savitri has consented that I am here to do your will. Give me the word. Tell me what I should do. Savitri is telling her, give me the word. Tell me what I should do. I am thy portion here, charged with thy work. as thou myself seated forever above, speak to my depths, O great and deathless voice. Command, for I am here to do thy will. So the power within Savitri's soul is telling the Supreme Power, command, I am here to do thy will. So that is the surrender Savitri has made to the Supreme Power. And then what happens? The voice replied from above, remember why thou camest. Find out thy soul. Recover thy hid self. Your self is shrouded in human condition. Recover that soul back. Remove all the surface personality of yours and go deep within and discover your true self. Recover thy hid self. In silence, seek God's meaning in thy depths. Why you are here for? What you are here for? What is the purpose of your birth? In the silence of your being, try to understand the meaning of that purpose. Silence, seek God's meaning in thy depths. Then mortal nature change to the divine. Now that is the power. If you are in that condition, in that state of total silence and surrender, the mortal nature can change to the divine nature,
Yes.
of which we are not aware at all. We even don't know, we don't even try, think of it, even if we are having some idea of it, we remain oblivious of it. Then mortal nature change to the divine nature. Already a big Adesh has come to her, change your mortal nature to the divine nature. Open God's door, enter into his trance, cast thought from thee, that nimble ape of light. You are a mental being belonging to the Manomaya Purusha. Thought is what is governing all your actions and movements. Remove the thought. Make your being absolutely silent. Remain in the state of silent mind. What is thought after all? It only imitates what the great things can do and achieve of light. It only imitates that thing. It does not give you the true knowledge, truth, aspects of the truth at all. On what basis you should work, that you are not aware. Thought cannot be aware. Cast thought from thee. Remove the thought at all totally. Make it vacant, totally vacant. In his tremendous hush, stilling thy brain, let the mind be empty. Stilling thy brain, his vast truth wake within, and know and see. When your mind has fallen silent, when your brain is still, quiet, then you will know what that truth is, that big truth is, then only you will know that. Cast from thee sense that veils thy spirit's sight. In fact, we are not able to see things because our sense veils what the Spirit really wants to tell us, show us. We are not able to see that thing at all. What is sense after all? Sense, in the deepest sense, is nothing but the functioning of mind. Manasa. Manasa itself is a sense. The first sense is Manasa. Then the other five senses arise out of Manasa. So, when your Manasa, your mind has fallen silent, then only what the Spirit wants to do or wants to tell you, that you can understand. Not until then. His vast truth wake within and know and see. Cast from thee sense that veil the Spirit's sight. In the enormous emptiness of thy mind, The emphasis is again the same. Remain quiet, absolutely quiet, without any disturbance, no thought, no movement. In that condition, cast from thee, send that veil the spirits aside. In the enormous emptiness of thy mind, thou shalt see the eternal's body in the world. So that is the kind of a thing which is possible for Savitri. When mind has totally fallen silent, then she can understand the physical presence of the Eternal Himself in this universe. The true sense then will arise, yes, this is all the play of Brahma, of the Eternal, of the Creator Himself. Then the true sense will arise in you. Then thou shalt see the Eternal's body in the world. It is the body, it is not just the spirit, the power, but it is the physical presence itself of the Eternal, of Brahma, that you will be able to see. Know Him in every voice heard by thy soul. The voice of the tree, or the bird, or the river, of animals, insects, whatever voices are there, the hidden voices, the occult voices to which we are not attentive, all those you will hear in thy soul. In the world's contacts, meet His single touch. That is also an aspect of sense, touch. You see? Sparsha. It is also an aspect of sense. All things shall fold thee into His embrace. When that identity is there, then you will see that you and the entire creation have established a oneness. A relationship of oneness is established between you two. All things shall fold thee into His embrace. Conquer thy heart's throbs. Let thy heart beat in God. Conquer thy heart's throbs. Let thy heart beat in God. This is an interesting line from the point of view of scansion. See, the first foot, conquer. Second foot is thy heart's throbs. Let thy heart beat in God. That is the metrical construction. Conquer thy heart's throbs. Let thy heart beat in God. Thy nature shall be the engine of His works. Then all your movements, all your actions will be driven by Him, by God. Thy nature shall be the engine of His works. Thy voice shall house the mightiness of His word. What you will speak the word coming from Him. What is the word? What is speaking? Word is the power of expression.
Yes.
Word means the creative power of expression. It is that which will come out in your voice. In other words, whenever you utter something, it will materialize, it will take a concrete shape, it will present itself as a physical object. That is the possibility which will open out in you. Thy nature shall be the engine of His works. Thy voice shall house the mightiness of His word. Then shalt thou harbor my foes and conquer death. That is the whole recipe which has been given to Savitri. Do this, and this will happen. What will happen? Then shalt thou harbor my force. The force of the Divine Supreme Mother will be housed in the power which is seated in the soul of Savitri, and then it is that which will conquer death.
Yes.
It is not human Savitri, but human Savitri has made herself totally one with the power which is dwelling in her soul. And it is that power which will receive the command, the strength, the word or whatever is required to do what she wants to do, and Savitri's ultimate victory will be to conquer death. That is what. So, yes, this death is meant for a certain purpose. The death of your husband, Satyavan, 1 year after the marriage, is meant that death be conquered. So be prepared, get ready, and with that complete recipe of how to proceed, Savitri's yoga begins. That yoga begins. Actually, conquest of death is, in a certain sense, the central theme of Savitri. The whole tapasya of Ashwapati is to bring down the power on earth who will face death and vanquish death. But conquest of death doesn't mean that one would never die. Conquest of death does not mean one would never die. There is a difference between the state of deathlessness and immortality. There is a difference between immortality, he never dies. But the state of deathlessness means that if you want to die, you can die. Now, but the power to die is with you. For what purpose? If you want to change yourself, bring out something new, go from one stage to the other stage, then that transition is provided by this death. So you die for a certain purpose to grow further. From one step to the other step, you kind of leave aside all that you achieved, you want to go further up. You therefore die to that thing and make further progress. Death doesn't mean that one would never die. It means the power to leave the body at will. Ichcha mrityu. Yes, I want to die for a certain purpose, at will. The other thing is the change. For what purpose? For change or renewal of the body. If the body wants to make further progress, then what is the mechanism available? You sort of die. Not die in the ignorant, helpless manner as you do, but willingly for a certain purpose, by putting a certain will, certain force, by a certain ichcha, desire, so to say, you take a next step to change things. Renewal of the body. That is why, for the purposes of renewal of the body, death is necessary. Now we are in a helpless state, we die. In the same manner, they are also changing bodies and going from one step to the other step. But when this particular stage is reached, then you will it to change, to bring out new aspects of your personality, of your individuality.